How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia, where things are interesting. We blew up the school last episode. That was fun. I kind of got that impression with the massive amount of fertilizer and the secret, sneaking into the building. So I wasn't truly surprised we blew up the school, but I was interested to see the logic behind it. And while it is a super extreme, I do get what Yuuji was going for. And I think, Yuuji can be he approaches problems in very unique ways. It's very Yuuji way. Based on his history, the way he's learned how to solve problems in his line of work, it kind of makes sense that he would draw this conclusion, but he also really, ultimately what he wanted to do, like he said, he wanted her to fail and succeed. He wanted her to fail because she would find that she's not capable of fulfilling her actions. She could succeed by relying on others, and then she could fail recognizing that she was destroying the thing that had brought her joy, and then she could succeed by recognizing that, you know what, it's time for her to just be happy in her own terms. And we're going to see how that plays out. Now, apparently, we have a lot more to this than I'm expecting, because I genuinely was starting to think that, you know what, we had it on a pretty happy note, things were going really smoothly, we're probably just going to have a story wrap-up, recap, and we'll be done. Kind of like with Michiru, I kind of thought we were going to have essentially what was the last episode of her route today, where we had the big climactic event and we had the big kind of culmination of feelings and emotions and everything. And then after that with Michiru, we got kind of the whole idea, okay, well, let's help resolve Dark Michiru's past. And we did. And it all kind of happened in a 20-minute conversation where we're done. I thought we were going to have another episode like that, where we're going to kind of go back to the school, we're going to wrap things up, and then we're going to kind of see a post-credit, how's things going in life now, and then we'll all be done, right? But some of you have implied that that's not very likely, so we'll just have to see how this all happens. But regardless of that, I guess I gotta jump right into it. Now, unfortunately, I've fallen off the wagon a bit. I took a break from the other routes of Fruit of Grisaia for a bit, and then I got really busy, and so I just haven't been able to progress much in that. I need to pick that back up again this week. Now that things are settling down, I should be able to, but still, it's I gotta hurry. I feel like I'm running out of time. Not too frantically, but frantic enough. Anyway, I'm sad that we're going to be seeing the end of this, but I'm also pretty happy with it. So I guess we'll see how things play out. But thank you so much for joining me. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and a good episode today, that you enjoy yourselves for the beginning of this weekend, and you know that we'll have great stories to continue to talk about. So let's see what happens today. So let's jump right in. Human warmth just might be the one and only drug God permits us. Or so I thought the first time I slept with a woman. The welcoming softness of their skin, the just right heat of their bodies, it's enough to make your brain melt out of your ears. When you've got something like that lying in your arms, it's only natural you'd want to hold on to it forever. But unfortunately, only monkeys get to spend their lives immersing themselves in physical pleasure, and I happen to be a higher primate with other things to worry about. Specifically, the stunt I just pulled on behalf of the girl I fell in love with. I destroyed Mihama Academy, knowing full well how much trouble it would cause. Yeah, this is gonna be a mess. I've got to accept reality and own up to my actions. First and foremost, to the 4 girls who were so concerned for Sachi. Well, at least the building's still here.
Sachi!
The instant we entered the dorm and announced our arrival, Michiru pounced like a twin-tailed tiger, wrapping both her arms around Sachi.
急に発情しないでください、ミチル様。前々から言っていますが、私にそっちの毛は。こんな時に何とぼけてるのよ。あんたが無事に帰ってきたから喜んでるんでしょ。私が無事に？チルチルの言う通りなのよ。空を飛んでたら急に壊れて心配したのよさ。空を飛んでたら壊れて。小峰さんは知らなかったかもしれないけれど、学園が爆破された時、私たちはヘリに乗っていたのよ。なるほどです。ゆうくんの言っていた安全な場所というのは空の上だったんですね。
Yeah, those eyes are gonna turn to us in a second. Pretty pulse pounding little tour, right? Just about right for the last night of the summer vacation.
ええ。これまで見てきた中でも最低の余計だったわ。
The property of my family, and technically my responsibility, literally exploding. Sakaki's words are sardonic and accusatory, but the look on her face is surprisingly gentle. I don't get the impression she's actually angry.
確かにさっちゃんとユージが無事だったのは良かったけど、
Here comes the anger.
二人には納得のいく説明をしてもらわないとね。
In contrast, Amane marches right up to me, grabs me by the shoulder, resembling nothing so much as an ogre who woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Sure, what do you want me to explain?
なんのって、私たちの学園がなくなってることについてに決まってるでしょ。急いで戻ってきたら学園は瓦礫の山になってるし、こうして寮が残ってたことにびっくりしたくらいよ。
Ah, right. That.
そのことかってね。
She's like, are you seriously? Well, what's to explain? We just got rid of that test as requested.
どこがただなのよ。私たちは学園をなくしてなんてお願いした覚えはないわよ。ヘリに乗って気持ちよく夜景を眺めてたのに、突然自分たちの学園が崩れ始めて、みんな本当に驚いたんだからね。ユミちゃんなんか、小峰さんと風見くんが早くここから降ろしてパイロットのおっちゃんにダダをこねて大変だったのよ。
Look at this expression on her face. She's like, are you... Don't say that!
それはあんなものを見せられたら誰だって。そうよ。私たちがもし寮にいたら今頃小顔美人になってたかもしれないんだから。
Sounds like a net positive, but in any case, that's exactly the reason I made sure you were all safe in the sky.
ああ、なるほど。って私が聞きたいのはそういうことじゃなくて、学園を壊しちゃった理由。
Well, as for that...
それは私から皆さんにお話しします。
Interrupting mid-sentence, Sachi takes a determined step forward.
さっちゃんが？はい。テストをなくせという依頼を受けようとしたのも、学園を爆破することになったのも、すべてゆうくんが私のためにしてくれたことですから。
It's kind of cool seeing her step up like this. So far, it still feels very, like, fulfilling the contract type of attitude, but still. And so, she explained clearly and frankly, starting at the very beginning. The advice I gave her, the feelings I conveyed to her, the trauma of her past and the struggles she's undergone ever since. She doesn't hold back a thing. She doesn't flinch or hesitate.
ですから、今回の件はすべて私の責任なんです。そのせいで、皆さんにとっても大切な学園を壊すことになってしまって、
Aww.
本当にすみませんでした。
Oh, Sachi. There's a reason everyone here avoids talking about the past. We all vaguely understand that it can't be a pleasant topic for anyone in a place like this. Sachi, of course, is no exception. Talking about this can't be easy for her, but even so, she lays everything bare in front of her friends and bows her head in sincere apology. Our classmates, still half in shock over the abrupt demolition of their school, now have Sachi's complicated, unhappy life story to contend with as well. Finally understanding how their friend became the obedient maid they've joked about all this time, the four girls sink into awkward silence. Well, that's the way Sachi sees it, but the fact is, I'm the one who decided to blow up the school. I knew it was going to cause you trouble, but I did it anyway, and for what it's worth, I'm really sorry. Following Sachi's example, I lower my head in apology.
ゆうくん、そうやって二人に謝られると何にも言えなくなっちゃうじゃない。まあ、そういうことなんだろうとは思っていたわ。
Yeah, we did try to, like, give you a heads up a bit.
要するに、もうサチが何でも言うことを聞く必要がなくなったってことでしょ。だったら、それは喜ぶべきことじゃない。私はもともとサッチンとお兄ちゃんが無事なら、
Oh yeah.
それでよかったのよさ。
I have no doubt that you, Machina, of course, don't mind that the building exploded.
皆さん。
Sachi must have been genuinely prepared for anger or rejection. When she receives warm words instead, tears well up in the corners of her eyes. Now that she's finally realized just how important these people are to her, their acceptance must feel incredibly good. I think I owe you an apology in particular, Sakaki.
だから、あの時私に謝ったのね。
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know it's not enough to just say this, but I really am sorry.
別に、 謝ってもらう必要はないわ。
What?
あなたがどんな方法で私の父を納得させたのかは知らないけれど。
Oh, JB must have done that.
自分の娘を通わせている学園がなくなるというのに、連絡の一つもよこさない。あの人にとって私とこの学園は、きっとそれくらいの価値しかないのよ。
Yeah, you're the last enigma I need to figure out, Yumiko. Even so.
それに、新しい鳥かごもきっとすぐに用意されるわ。
I'm aware that Sakaki and her father don't exactly get along, but we're talking about a large modern building with top-of-the-line facilities and equipment. The initial construction cost alone would have to be well within the billions of yen. Dismissing something like that as a birdcage suggests she's still got a bit of an East Beach Group CEO's daughter in her, whether she likes it or not.
ねえ、ユミちゃん。そうやってカッコつけるのもいいけれど、せっかくなんだからお詫びに一発私とまぐわってちょうだいとか言っておかなくていいの？
Makira!
誰がそんなことを？ マキちゃん？
Well, judging from how quickly things have returned to normal, I guess learning Sachi's past isn't gonna make them awkwardly self-conscious around her.
でも、そういうことになってたなら、一言くらい私たちに相談してくれてもよかったのに。
Let's say I did. Would you have agreed to go along with this plan?
それは。
Ah, you got me there. More importantly, getting this done required some dicey maneuvering. If things had ended badly, your knowledge of the plan would have been a serious liability for you.
ちょっと待ってよ。じゃあユージとサチは犯罪者になっちゃったってわけ？
Depends on how this plays out, actually. I was wondering about that too. Like, technically, this is, I don't know. Could it be called arson? I mean, maybe terrorism? But there was nobody. We kind of had permission, and like, it sounds like they like told the community that there would be a planned detonation and remodeling or destruction of the school for whatever reason. But like, still.
だったら今頃もっとたくさんの警察が来て大騒ぎになってたんじゃない？
Right. Like Amane says, there's only a few cops standing outside this gate and no media presence whatsoever. I've noticed a few curious locals passing by to gawk at the rubble, but that's about it.
じゃあ
Sorry to disappoint. Doesn't look like we'll be doing any time for this one.
なんだ、びっくりさせないでよ。
あなたのことだし、どうせそうならないように手を打っていたんでしょ？
Well, I pulled some strings and probably spent all my money. I did what I could, but things could have played out differently. It came down to your father.
なるほどね。
なるほどって、そんな説明じゃ私には全然わからないんだけど。
みちるじゃないけど、確かに今回の件は納得いかないことが多いのよね。あれだけ大掛かりなことをしたのに、どうして周りが騒ぎ立てないのかとか。
それは私が説明するわ。
Hey, principal!
学園長。
Chizuru, you already done out there?
ええ。あなたとハルデラさんが頑張ってくれたおかげで、私の仕事はほとんどなかったようなものだから。
I see. Seems the dice really do fall pretty nicely this time. Almost freakishly so. Yeah, I'm a little suspicious of that too.
じゃあ、学園長は、ユージが学園を爆破しようとしていたことを知っていたんですか？
Apologies about that. Ever done that thing where like you like my phone, like I keep an eye on my phone while I'm recording because I juggle a lot in my life, and so I have to kind of keep an eye out to see like, okay, like am I like, do I need to step away for a bit? Is there an emergency or something? And so I see the vibrate, and so I subtly try to check it. But apparently I was last on like a YouTube Shorts for whatever reason, and so it automatically starts blasting music. So apologies for that. Hopefully I remember to catch that in the edit. Anyway, so yes.
ねえ。それはもちろん初めて聞いた時は顔が真っ青になったけれど、風見くんの熱意と、それが小峰さんのためになるって聞いてね。つまり
年下のイケメンからおねだりされて思わず OK しちゃったってことなのよさ。
What a way with words Makita has.
違います。私は一教育者として学生の未来と自主性を。
でも学園長が事前に計画をしていたとしてもこの落ち着きぶりはおかしいわ。
それは今回の件が世間的に納得済みのものだったからよ。
Oh, okay. Because everyone was okay with it, then it's fine.
納得済みってどういうことなんですか？
言葉通り昨日の爆破解体は正規に行われた工事だったの。事前に。
Accepting a flyer from Principal Tachiban's outstretched hand, a puzzled Michiru begins reading its contents out loud.
なに美浜学園新校舎設立に伴う現校舎施設解体作業のお知らせ？ちょっとそんなの聞いてないわよ。解体予定日時2011年。何よこれ。
Yeah, that's called certifications and bureaucracy. Well, it's exactly what it looks like. I made 2 specific requests of Chizuru. First and foremost, I needed her to provide me with detailed blueprints of the school in order to ensure an efficient, reliable demolition and prevent any collateral damage to the dormitory that's become our home. And secondly, I asked her to provide advance warning and follow-up with Mishima Cape community. As Chizuru's both the principal of our school and a well-connected daughter of the prefecture governor, she was uniquely suited to play that role.
つまり今回の爆破解体は事前に壊しますよって予告されていたものが予定通りに行われただけのことだったの。
だから商店街の人たちが大変だねって。
多分そうでしょうね。
それにしたって新聞やテレビで一切のニュースになっていないのはおかしいわ。
そこに関しては私も詳しいことはわからないけれど、
Okay.
どうやら今回の件は報道規制がかけられているらしいのよ。
Now, the question is, though, is that JB or is that Yumiko's dad?
報道規制？
榊さんなら知っているかもしれないけど、この国は1992年にあったビル解体以降、大掛かりな爆破解体はほとんど行われていない。
Okay. I think I vaguely remember that. Like they had the demolition like went awry, and I think instead of the building, like, because when you do a controlled implosion demolition, you essentially blast the infrastructure out from the inside outward, and then the inside kind of collapses in, and then the walls fall inside as well. But they had an improper one where they blasted, but like some of the blast caps didn't fire properly, and so what ended up happening is that you blasted like one half, and then the building like slid, fell into another building that was like occupied. I think. I think that's what it is. I'll have to look that up.
だから学園施設の爆破解体ともなれば世間は嫌でも騒ぎ立てる。それを快く思っていなかったのか、国から大掛かりな報道規制がかけられているみたいで。
That's kind of crazy. What?
で、それはあなたと春寺さんの差し金だったんでしょう？
Yeah, that we did.
やっぱり。あなたと春寺さんなら何かやってくれると思っていたけれど。
I think that must be JB.
国ってどんだけすごいのよあんたたち。
ユージが私たちとは違う意味で普通じゃないのはなんとなく感じてたけど、
Uh-oh.
本当に何者？
What? Again with this? Name, Kazama Yuuji. Occupation student, currently attending Mihama Academy, I think. We've been introduced, haven't we?
今となってはその言葉ほどうさんくさいものはないわね。
まあ
隠すってことは言えないってことなんだろうから、これ。
Just what I'd expect from a discreet young lady like yourself, Amane. You're a darn good woman.
別の女の子を選んだ男の子にいい女だって言われてもね。
I mean, it's something.
すみません。
いや、謝られると余計傷つくから。
そんなことよりまずはお風呂に入ってきた方がいいんじゃない？服汚れてるわよ。
Michiru reaches down and sweeps a few lingering clumps of grass from Sachi's skirt.
そういえばそうでした。大浴場もいつも通りに使えるから。
お兄ちゃんと一緒に入っちゃってもいいのよさ。マキちゃんにここまでお願いされては仕方ありませんね。一緒に入りましょう。
Oh, okay. Because Machina wants it, we'll do it. Using her babbling as an excuse? You're shameless, woman.
さすがユウくん。なかなかガードが硬い
Did
です。
she try to smack us in the head and we blocked it?
学園長として風紀を乱すような行動は見逃せません。お風呂はちゃんと別々に入ること。
それは嫉妬でしょうか。
Oh!
違います。教育者としての行動理念です。
残念です。
それで2人がお風呂から上がったらもう一度ここに集まってちょうだい。それから仮校舎での授業について説明するから。
Ah, okay.
仮校
Uh-oh. Did we not stop the test?
校舎がなくなったからといって授業をしないわけにはいかないでしょ。これでもすぐに授業が始められるようにって頑張ったんだから。
そこは頑張らなくてもよかったです、学園長。
そういうことを考える子がいるから授業を休めないんです。
はい。
それじゃあここで一度解散にしましょうか。
その前に一つ質問があるんですが。
Yeah, are we supposed to still take that test?
何？榊さん。
校舎がなくなる前に予定されていた学力テストは。
The instant the question leaves Sakaki's lips, Sachi's expression goes visibly serious. The entire plan was carried out under the pretext of getting rid of the test. I guess it's only natural that the outcome would be a point of interest for everyone in the room.
それは小峰さんに聞きたいんだけれど。
私にですか？
ええ。小峰さん、あなたはまだ学力テストをなくす必要があると思う？
Yeah, I don't want you shanking the teacher or anything.
それは。
Halfway through a tentative sentence, Sachi closes her eyes and falls silent, thinking over that question more carefully. We watch and wait in tense silence for the results of her deliberations.
思いません。みんなが受けるテストなら私たちも受けるべきです。
本当にそれでいいのね。
We're glad the principal's like on the same page. I get the impression Chizuru had been expecting this answer, but she gently asks for confirmation anyway.
はい。そのテストでいい点を取って、ゆうくんに褒めてもらえるように頑張ります。
I like how I'm part of this equation now, thank you. And Sachi's shamelessly cheerful response, delivered with a big smile on her face, takes even me by surprise.
ここまで開き直られると怒る気にもならないわね。
なんだかかっこいいのよ、サッチン。はあ、結局はのろけですか。そうですか。
Is it congratulations? Just a few hours ago, the girl had been willing to do anything and everything to get rid of that test, up until including something as dramatic as destroying her own school. So, understandably enough, everyone was startled by her overwhelmingly bright and positive answer. But it was an undeniable proof that Sachi was no longer trapped by the skewed system of values she'd clung to for so long. Maybe that cheerful smile was a little audacious after all that, but nobody was about to criticize her for it. Now, it doesn't help that I was primed that there might be more that's gonna happen after this, but at the same time, like, it feels almost like too neat and tidy to just be over. So, what's gonna happen? Once Chizuru let us know the standardized test would be in fact conducted a few days later than originally scheduled, we brought the gathering to a temporary conclusion. So maybe, what if the nightmares come back? And that's the problem. Because remember, she originally adopted her mantra to avoid the nightmares. So if the nightmares come back in full strength, and she becomes terrified of them again, she might fall back, or maybe take it in a different direction. Ugh, I hope not. After watching Sachi head off for her well-deserved bath, I pull out one of my cell phones and make a call.
もしもし、ユージ？
After a single ring and a little electronic static, I hear the usual voice on the other end of the line. Hey, JB, I've got a question I need to ask you in person.
奇遇ね。私もあなたと話したいことがあったのよ。
Oh boy. How convenient. Unfortunately, we've got some onlookers hanging around the usual place. Would you mind heading somewhere else? I'll send you the address.
ええ、それで問題ないわ。
While our concise little conversation concluded, I immediately prepared to head out. About 10 minutes after I reached the place, as I specified, a comically conspicuous yellow sports car arrives on the scene.
お待たせ。
Naturally, it isn't long before a certain splendidly shaggy-haired blonde emerges. That didn't take long, not that it ever does with you.
片棒を担いだ共犯者として、あの学園の最後を見届けようと思っていたから。
Yeah, sure. Maybe you're just watching me consistently through a high-powered telescope?
私たちの仕事にそんな時間がないことは知っているでしょ?
You have enough time to be about nagging bosses with your coworkers, don't you?
帰るわよ。
Sorry, just a joke.
で、ユージの尋ねたいことっていうのは、
Yeah.
今回の件についてよね。
Yeah, I'm just a bit curious. Yeah. From what Shizuru tells me, Kasumiga Seki dropped a gag order on this.
ええ、該当地域の公的機関、各社報道局、新聞社、雑誌社なんかには軒並みね。
I see. At first glance, that strikes me as an almost disproportionate level of legal force. It must have taken some serious groundwork, money, and political authority to get such a wide-scale order in place. Sorry, I think I must be missing something here. Mind if I work through this from the top? Our school is owned and administered by the Sakaki Academy Educational Corporation, one small arm of the corporate octopus Sakaki's father controls. But from what you found, the school wasn't actually built by East Beach Construction, their architectural branch instead. Sakaki quietly brought in a second biggest player in the field, Nishizono Construction, right so far?
本来なら、売り上げを競うライバル企業として、互いにしのぎを削る仲であるはずの2社が手を取り合っていた理由。
Ooh, interesting.
そこには、長年にわたる談合の存在があり、国からの補助金を目当てとした、計画的な工事費用の水増しなんかが行われていた。
Yeah. I don't know if there's an official term for it, but that's a secret monopoly. And you were planning to use that knowledge as a shield for my otherwise unthinkable bit of demolition work.
両者間の不正を証明するデータの存在を知らせ、それを理由に、美浜学園の爆破解体を予告。
That's some pretty big, like, that's what sucks is like that's an effective tool, but like, is this really what we want to spend that tool on? Like, we probably can't hold that over their heads again.
そして世間には、あくまで私的な理由での解体工事として、爆破解体を申請した。
Right, so this is where it stops making sense. It's one thing for East Branch and Nishizono to throw some money around to keep the press off the scent. But if we're talking about a gag order from Kasumigaseki, Kasumigaseki.
今回の件を公にすることが、国家という集団意志にとって不利益を生むと判断された。という
Okay.
ことね。
Again, general will in quotes. What does that even mean? JB interrupts in a cold, flat tone of voice. Her expression has changed to match. It's the face of a superior giving orders to a subordinate in a workplace. From the sound of things, I'm going to guess you know the exact reason that decision was made.
ええ、知っているわ。でもそれは、あなたに知る権利が与えられていない情報よ。
Okay, maybe we accidentally stepped into a deeper pit than we thought. I see. Understood.
気にしていた割には、ずいぶんあっさりしているのね。
Well, you just gave me pretty much the entire answer, as much as I need to know anyway.
そう。
Apparently, satisfied that I'm not going to press the matter further, JB lets the intimidating scowl drop off her face.
じゃあ、その話はここでおしまいね。
And with a casual flip of her voluptuous blonde hair, she's right back to normal. Wasn't expecting you to move on so easily yourself.
あなたがこれ以上聞こうとしないなら、気を張る必要はないもの。
Judging by her attitude, JB's not really interested in the conclusions I've drawn. She just wants to make it clear that I need to keep them to myself.
それから、今回の件に関する市ヶ谷からの処分だけど、本件に関する
9029号が取った行動の一切を不問とし、これまで通り予備役扱いで待機。
Affirmative.
本当に聞き分けがいいわね。あなたのことだからもっと噛みついてくると思っていたのに。
Again with the dog analogies. I don't see the problem. Even if I don't know the exact details, it seems Ichigaya and I happen to have a common interest in this one. Come to think of it, it wouldn't surprise me if your cooperation with this plan was authorized by someone upstairs.
そこまで分かっていれば上出来ね。
With an almost amused smile, JB turns smoothly on her heel and heads for her car. So, inadvertently, the reason we got so much good support here was that, for whatever reason, the fallout and the destruction of the school could be used for other things. Maybe it's like they pulled a big trump card on those companies, right? Saying, hey, we have this information, you might want to keep it quiet. But maybe what we did is we used that and the destruction of the school in conjecture to get something else. Like maybe we detonated the building and then approached them like at this evening itself and said, hey, we detonated this building and we know about your colluding together and how that's definitely illegal. We want this to happen and we will withhold our knowledge and not destroy any more buildings if you comply. Maybe that's what they use. Maybe we use the building as like a way to help Sachi, but they're repurposing our destruction as a manifestation of like resolve. Like saying, look, we blew up this school that had nobody in it, but was customary and was very expensive. Next time we might not be so picky about what we go after.
それじゃあ仕事になったらまた連絡するから、今は体を休めなさい。どうせ爆破の準備でほとんど寝ていないんでしょ?
Right, back at you. Make sure you're getting your beauty sleep, alright? Your skin's going to turn into a mess at this rate.
ご忠告ありがとう。
Her tone taking a distinct turn for the sour, JB slips into her car and then vanishes obnoxiously into the night. Huh. The details aren't clear to me, but apparently the country doesn't think too highly of what East Branch has been getting up to lately. At the guess, somebody probably decided they could use my plan to wreck Sakaki's pet project as something of a warning shot across his bow. Yeah, exactly. I'd gone into this fully prepared to be cold for messing around with a major player, but my luck seems to have been astoundingly good. A pet dog tries to bite his owner, only to have them protect him from the potential consequences. Guess it's not a completely unheard of outcome, given the valuable enough mutt. But even if some influential elements of Ichigaya and Kasumika Saki were on board with this, it's hard to understand how such a thorough gag order got handed out so quickly. It almost seems possible that someone was orchestrating all of this from behind the scenes. Maybe that genius criminal we've supposedly got locked up in the basement? Yeah, sure. Just because I'm drawing a blank doesn't mean I need to start drawing conclusions based on some urban legend our female employees invented for lack of anything better to talk about at lunch. So, maybe this is something that's supposed to come up in a different route, but who is this? A genius criminal? In any case, it seems the country itself is protecting me on this one. No reason to look a gift horse in the mouth. For one thing, this means I don't have to give her any new worries. I have a very... Oh, she's wearing her outfit! Yay! Apparently, Sachi was waiting for me to return. She trots right up to me the instant I enter the dorm.
おかえりなさい、ゆうくん。
Hey! Yeah.
それで、大丈夫でしたか?
You're going to have to be more specific.
ゆうくんはきっと、私に大事なことを気づかせてくれるために、無理をしてくれたんですよね。そのせいで、春寺さんから怒られたんじゃないですか?
How could you not look at that face and be like, it was worth it. She really is a sharp one. My face hasn't spontaneously started displaying my thoughts in a bold type, has it? Not to worry, JB was on board with this from the start.
そうだったんですね。
Yeah.
でも、これだけは覚えていてください。これから先に、ゆうくんが悩んだり、 迷ったりすることがあったとしても、私はゆうくんを信じます。
Oh boy. I don't like where this is going. Like, I love that, but I get this impending sense of doom now because there's just apparently some big stuff happening in the background. And her saying that just sounds terrifying, like it's prepping me for that we might have to break her trust now, like right after we got it. What?
だからゆうくんも自分を信じてください。
Okay.
私には信じることしかできません。
It's like she knows stuff. That's weird.
でもその私を信じると言ってくれたのはゆうくんなんですから。
In a few hours since we stood above the ruined school, our position seemed to have completely reversed. The clarity of her feelings and the force of her convictions are enough to make me tremble. Guess I did say something like that, didn't I?
はい。
Come to think of it, this is probably the reason I was drawn to Sachi in the first place. Trapped in a constant hesitation, unable to find any real meaning in my existence, I wanted someone who could tell me it's alright. Someone who could look me in the eyes and say, you can be here. Someone who could see past all my lies and half-truths and say, I believe in you, with absolute conviction. Someone like Sachi. Sachi?
はい。なんでしょう。
Mind if I hug you? Before the words are fully out of my mouth, I've wrapped my arms around Sachi's waist and pulled her small body close. Aww.
まだ返事をしていないのに、もう抱きしめられています。
He wasn't actually asking for permission. Sorry, I couldn't restrain myself.
そう言われると反論できません。
Yeah, playing fair isn't my style, but since you were the sort to get flustered over something like— since when were you the one to get were you the sort to get flustered over something like this?
多分違ったと思います。でも今はこんなにドキドキしてしまうんです。
Oh boy. Her face bright red, Sachi hugs me back, tightly pressing her chest against me. True enough, her heartbeat seems to be significantly elevated. Nice to know she wasn't exaggerating for my benefit. At this point, I finally noticed something a little unusual here. By the way, these clothes.
はい。以前海でのデートで着させてもらった服です。制服が汚れてしまったので、この服に着替えたのですが、似合っているでしょうか?
Does that mean that the maid uniform is going to be officially retired? Her voice wavering uncertainly, Sachi looks into my eyes. Just seeing her act like this is enough to hit me with a fierce kick of affection. Yeah, incomprehensibly good. You're fabulous.
なんだか今、とてもバカにされたような気がします。
Look at that expression. That's so good. Just your imagination. You look cute, Sachi.
わかりました。ゆうくんのその言葉を信じます。
As I pet Sachi's head, the expression on her face suggests her displeasure isn't quite as sincere as she'd like me to believe. The girl's not exactly hard to understand, but then again, this childish simplicity is a big part of her natural charm.
それから、もうすぐ仮校舎での授業についての説明が始まるのですが、ゆうくんはまだお風呂に入っていませんよね。
Yeah, I was planning to go in after you finished, but...
だったら急ぎましょう。なんなら私も一緒に入ってお手伝いします。
Thanks, but I'll pass.
ゆうくんはどうしてそういうことを言うんですか？自分の彼女が海外しく尽くそうとしているのに。
I have a feeling we'd be late. Because I get the feeling your servicing would go a little beyond washing my hair.
その発言はとても失礼です。人を欲しがりな淫乱メイドのように言わないでください。
You aren't. I seem to remember you implying the exact same.
聞こえません。
You know, no shame. The dust literally hasn't even settled on this incident, but one thing's already become clear to me. After all the time I spent floating indecisively along, I found something like a reason to live, and without a doubt, this girl's the one who gave it to me. I have Sachi now, and that's enough. I have someone who believes in me, who trusts in my return, who smiles wholeheartedly at my words. No matter what else I have to give up, I want to protect that. She's irreplaceable to me. For her sake, if nothing else, I think I can go on.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Okay, calm down. What's up, Michiru? Practicing your courtship behavior in preparation for mating season?
ぶん殴るわよ。私たちの学園を壊しちゃったくせに。ホマー風見のくせに。
Don't be mean.
言うなよ。じゃないわよ。
I know,
可愛
right?
く言ったってあんたのやったことがなしになるわけじゃないんだからね。
Plus, you're mean to her. Hey, it's not all bad. Remember how depressed you were about summer vacation ending? Now you've got another week.
それは確かにユージのおかげかもしれないけど。
As Chizuru said, our present lack of school building doesn't mean we can't stop holding classes entirely. At the second meeting yesterday evening, she explained Mihama Academy would be temporarily renting a nearby building that had previously been used as a commercial cram school. But it seems some relatively expensive maintenance was necessary to bring its infrastructure up to the necessary standards, so we ended up getting a 1-week emergency extension to our summer vacation. Of course, considering the limited amount of time Chizuru had to prepare for the demolition, I doubt anyone else could have gotten things up and running even that quickly. So, why are you practicing your war shout?
おたけびでもないわよ。っていうか、あんたの目は風穴。周りをよく見てみなさいよ。
Consciously refraining from any comment on Michiru's interesting choice of words, I glance around the lobby. Sure enough, something unusual immediately catches my eye. Now that you mention it, the dorm seems really clean today.
そう。私はこの仕事ぶりに感心していたのよ。
In other words, this is the work of...
はい、インランメイド改め恋するメイド小峰幸です。
You don't have to be a maid! And oh my gosh, Sachi, calm down!
サチ、あんた元気になったのはいいけど、なんかキャラ変わってない？
だとしたら、それは恋の力かもしれません。
恋の？
Are you investing? No, Ichiru. There's another good picture. There's a lot of good pictures. Like, just like capture moments. Be like, I like this.
そのツインテールをギュッと引っ張ってリボン結びにしてしまいますよ。
Sachi, oh my gosh.
まあ、あんたがそう言うならそうなんだろうけど。何はともあれ、サチがまた掃除をしてくれるようになって助かったわよ。
そうなんですか？
まあね、あんたが悩んでる間も、ユージやアマネなんかが定期的に掃除はしてくれてたけど、サチが戻ってきた途端、こんなに綺麗になってるのよ。そりゃあ、サチの偉大さを再認識するってもんでしょう。
Okay, but what about, like, is this okay? Like, is she just reverting back, or does she genuinely enjoy cleaning? Like, what's happening here? Guess you have a point. I put a respectable amount of effort into maintaining the dorm in Sachi's stead, but unlike her, I was acting out of necessity. When you've got someone who actually enjoys cleaning for its own sake, you'll naturally get a more thorough, attentive job. Somehow the place feels genuinely more pleasant to be in.
私のお掃除がお役に立っているとしたら、それはお父さんとお母さんのおかげです。
そうなの？
はい。これはゆうくんにはお伝えしてあることなのですが、お父さんとお母さんから褒めてもらったことがきっかけで、私はお掃除のことが好きになりましたから。
なるほどね。そういうところをちゃんと見てくれてたってことは、それだけサチのことが好きだったってことなんでしょうね。
そうですよね。
何か気になることでもあった？
I don't know, maybe sensitive topic?
いえ、そんなことはありませんよ。
そう。
Sachi told her classmates about the tragic accident that scarred her childhood, but not about the way her parents had abruptly grown distant and disinterested. Without knowing that part of the story, I suppose Michiru's reaction is perfectly natural.
そうだ、サチ、せっかくだから私のツインテールも久しぶりに言ってよ。
みちる様の髪をですか？
そう、自分でも言えるんだけど、やっぱりサチにやってもらった方がビシッと決まるのよね。
わかりました。そういうことでしたら、この小峰幸、喜んでみちる様の髪を言わせていただきます。
I kind of disappointed. I wanted her to say no. That would have made me feel a lot more comfortable.
はい、決まり。
The instant Sachi agrees, Michiru grabs her by the hand and drags her up to the second floor.
小峰さん、数日前とは見違えるくらい生き生きとしているわね。
I'm still worried. Oh, if it isn't Chizuru.
ねえ、風見くん。前々から思っていたんだけど、学校で話すときは 千鶴じゃなくて、ちゃんと学園長って呼んでくれない？
In other words, you want me to reserve Chizuru for bed.
そのベッドに別の女の子を乗せることにしたくせに。
You say something?
なんでもありません。
I don't know if it's intentional, but Chizuru and Michiru have very similar voices, and they express themselves in very interestingly similar ways. Like, it almost makes me wonder if it's actually the same voice actor just playing the two roles, like, you know, changing the pitch slightly, but like the delivery of the lines is very similar. Her expression suddenly dripping with displeasure, Chizuru turns her face away from me like a sulking child. She's been seemingly oddly cranky lately. Maybe it was a bad one this month? Oh my gosh, Yuuji. She's also been through a heck of a lot lately. Whatever. Anyway, glad you're here. I know I caused you a heck of a lot of hassle recently. Wanted to apologize.
どうしたの？急に改まって。
Well, I guess I've gained a little more perspective on all this after the fact. But when all's said and done, the plan never would have gotten off the ground without your cooperation. I'm trying to show a little gratitude.
なるほど。それは殊勝な心がけね。でも、あまり気にしないで。いつでも力になるって言ったのは私なんだから。
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
それに、小峰さんが抱えていた問題は解消されたんでしょ？
Don't know about that, but at the very least, I think she's gotten free of those laws that were binding her.
そしてそれを取り除いたのは風見くんじゃない。
Thanks, but you're wrong. I just gave her the chance she needed to wriggle her way out.
きっかけ？
Her rules were a defense mechanism. Before she could accept her own feelings, she had to see that system fail. She had to lose something precious to her. For that to happen, she needed to have something precious to lose in the first place.
確かにその通りね。
And Sachi cared enough about Mihama Academy for it to qualify. In other words, the real credit for her change is to go to this place and everyone in it.
なるほどね。
What's with the detached tone, Chizuru? You're on the list too. Pretty near the top, in fact.
Huh?
Not to put too fine a point on it, but every student in this school is a live grenade. And not only did you accept them, you've been juggling skillfully enough that nobody's lost a limb yet. Don't you think that's worth a little recognition? He's got a point.
風見くんからそんなことを言われるとは思わなかったわ。ちょっとびっくり。
Well, all I'm saying is you should try to have a little more confidence in yourself.
あなたからそう言われるほど自信がなくなるのはどうしてかしらね。
With a small sigh, Chizuru smiles wryly. Seems I've managed to blunder obviously into yet another landmine.
それじゃあ、私はそろそろ仕事に戻るわね。
Yeah, keep it up, Principal Tachibana. We're counting on your skills.
任せておいて。
With a girly little pump of her fist, Chizuru strides out the front door. Resolved Sachi's problem, huh? Hope she's right, but... What?
ゆうくん。
Huh? Finally noticing the soft voice calling my name, I turn around to find Sachi tugging on my sleeve. Makes me a little nostalgic for our first meeting here. Hey Sachi, what are you done? You already done with Michiru's hair?
はい。みちる様に喜んでいただけるように、テールの数も一つ増量させていただきました。
I'd love to see that. I don't think that would qualify as twin tails anymore. A triple tail?
はじめはみちる様もそうおっしゃっていたのですが、こっちの方が強そうですよ、と進言したところ、確かにそうね、とご納得いただけたみたいで。
I'm sure it did, and that actually makes me feel better already. Like, saying no would have been a much, like, more clear, like, she's exerting her own will. But in this case, she was told, hey, I'd like my twin tails, and Sachi's like, why don't we do 3? And then when she complains, she's like, but 3's better than 2, and Michiru took that. I see. Oh, Michiru, just how pitiful can one human being be? Hey, Michiru's great. I hate this anti-Michiru sentimentality.
それより、ゆうくんは学園長さんと仲がいいですよね。
I think manifesting jealousy is definitely going to be a new norm we're going to have to get used to, because she normally was just kind of like, whatever, but now she's like, I have feelings, and my feelings are this. Don't know if I agree with that assessment.
ですが、時々学園長さんのことを千鶴と呼ぶことがありますよね。
Would you look at the time? Yeah, not sure she mentioned this to you, but we're acquaintances. Nothing else to it.
ゆうくんはただの知り合いの女性を呼び捨てにするんですか？
I've been calling you Sachi pretty much from the moment I transferred in, you know?
そういえばそうでした。
Look.
ゆうくんの誠意ある対応のおかげで、学園長さんとはただのお知り合いだということは分かりました。ですが、内外からモテモテの彼氏さんを持つ私の不安は収まりません。
That's the odor of a much craved piece of man meat. Where do you even hear that? Oh my gosh. That's genuinely hilarious. What? What a great response. He's like, wait, what?
というわけで、ここは乙女的事前対策を取らせていただきます。
Uh-oh. Preemptive countermeasures.
はい、とりあえずこちらへ。
Okay, just like that, she marches me decisively off, towing me by the hand. Hold on, Sachi?
ここなら大丈夫。
Oh my gosh. As we enter her room, Sachi cautiously surveys the area, then nods to herself. Safe from what?
人目をはばかるようなことをしても、咎められないという意味でです。
Oh boy. Illicit activities, don't tell me.
はい、そのまさかです。
Oh boy. An earnest smile on her face, Sachi sinks to her knees in front of me and brings my hands to her hands to my groin. We're gonna cut away again.
それでは、失礼させていただきます。
Without a moment's hesitation, she begins stroking me through the pants. Okay. I'll probably see you in a bit. Listen to me when I'm talking to you, woman.
それはゆうくん次第です。
Fair response. The girl's always had a bit of a stubborn side to her, but this pushiness is really something else. The thought makes me a little guilty, but at times like these, I almost miss how easy she was to handle before.
さすがに、ここは大きくなっていないみたいですね。
Oh, why do I post this on the internet again? Like, why? This is gonna scar me for life in a way. Like, actually, I wonder. I was about to say, like, I can't run for political office anymore, but I feel like at least in America, all bets are off at this point. Especially because I always look at this in like the way that's like it's about wholesome communication, connection, relationships and stuff. It's not about smut, it's about story. So maybe it won't. But I imagine it could be taken out of context. I'm probably still screwed. If people comb through my channel and take things out of context, I'm sure it's gonna just absolutely obliterate me. If talking to a woman was enough to give me a boner, just walking around town would be a real challenge.
はい、ゆうくんのここは私の前だけで大きくしてほしいです。
Holy crap, this girl. Sachi's surprisingly straightforward possessiveness proves effective in its own right to feel blood gradually gathering.
ゆうくんのここがにわかにムクムクと。
These words. Well, yeah, because you're touching it.
では、最初に私が触ったとき、なかなか大きくならなかったのはどうしてでしょう？
Well, you're a lot more attractive when you're doing your own thing. Probably because I've completely fallen for you in the meantime.
あれ？
Why ask in the first place if you're going to get all embarrassed about it?
ということは、今後、私以外との性交渉は。
Yes! Yeah, you're all I need. When I state the obvious, Sachi's face grows comically red. I had an idea from the way she was talking about choosing to do, but the girl's clearly developed something of an irrational, jealous streak. Load off your mind?
はい。ゆうくんの男らしい言葉に、うかつにも、じゅんと。
You don't say.
ですが、私は彼女さんとして、ゆうくんのものを大きくしてしまった責任を取らなければいけません。
Again. Oh my gosh. Even as she speaks, Sachi slowly pulls down my zipper. Oh, Sachi! I think we're about to say bye-bye, for real. Without even pausing to acknowledge my objection, she liberates our mutual friend from my mind. Our mutual friend. Yep, here we go. Okay, alright, so another scene come and goes, literally. And that one, again, it's weird giving like a review of it, but that's the thing. It's like, I've always said from the beginning, there's nothing wrong with H scenes, but context is important. And that might have been one of the best ones yet, because it was all about just being there with each other and experiencing things. Sachi even had a moment where, Yuuji was kind of mentioning how guys kind of feel about themselves and how it can be a self-conscious thing. And Sachi's counter was saying like, well, I don't mind if you had this problem or this problem or this problem, or well, problem, but like, even if you weren't like in like what people I picture as like ideal shape or ideal, you know, physicality for something, she's just like, it doesn't matter, it's you, and I love you, so I wouldn't mind. And he almost didn't know how to feel about that, but at the same time, it was kind of this idea of like look, like, when you love somebody, like, it ultimately doesn't matter. You do what you got, you use what you got, and you work together, and that's what a relationship is. I imagine that there's a lot of people who are physically incredibly compatible, but aren't compatible in the ways that matter when it comes to an actual relationship. And so, if you can find both, that's the real ideal, but frankly, I think the relationship side of it's almost more important. But it's all important. I think relationships are complicated. You can't summarize them in bullet points or say like, oh, if you could just find someone who does this, this, and this, you're great. Like, no, you need to find the person that can do enough of the stuff that matters. And that there's stuff that matters that on the emotional scale, on the practical scale, on the physical scale, and the attractiveness scale. Like all of it, it all matters, and it all has weight, and it all is important. And that's why it's also good, like, as individuals, we should strive to be our best selves. Not for other people, but for us. And when we do, we'll probably find that we end up being a good fit for other people as well. I think we are going to end things here, though. I don't know exactly where we're going from this point, but, you know, we'll save the conversation for next time. We'll talk about, like, how things are going, and maybe we'll see what's in the future, but it feels like this is a decent stopping point, so yeah, hopefully it's okay, and hopefully we don't start that next episode right away with like stuff that's gonna make YouTube raise their eyebrows or anything, but you know, we'll get there. Thank you so much for being here today, for joining me on the channel, for kind of sharing this experience and this story. Again, we're getting close to the end, but that should be exciting because this is a Friday slot. That means that when we're done, we're going to be having a vote for the patrons and members about what we do next. So that means that we'll probably be holding a vote in the next few weeks. So if you're a patron or a member, make sure you keep an eye on your inbox and on the Discord. It also should pop up in the YouTube community page, but I don't always see those posts that I follow, so make sure you're following on Discord, just because that's probably a more reliable place, because I can tag you specifically. And if for some reason you are like a member on YouTube and you weren't given a role on the Discord, like message me directly and let's make sure that's corrected, because I don't want you missing anything on accident. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel, for being a part of this great adventure. And yeah, it was a good episode. Sachi's really got a lot going for her as far as going for the attaining of Best Girl. Especially in these last few episodes, I feel like being able to see a bit more about like Sachi being more individualistic and more assertive with her own desires and interests, it's really, really good to see. So yeah, very fun. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. It's been wonderful to share this with you, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you to the patrons and members. I want to be worthy of your support, and part of that is looking forward to the next game you select. So I hope you enjoy being able to let your voice be heard, and hopefully I can make a good cultivated list. But of course, if you have a specific recommendation, make sure to let me know. Anyway, thank you so much, and until the next video, watching me, or see me next. I'll see you there.